Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel GSI PUC Mysuru. Today I am here to present the second session of the second chapter, that is transistor biasing. In the last session we discussed about the basics of transistor, what we have already studied in our first year PUC. So let us get into the topic. What is transistor biasing? Transistor biasing is nothing but applying external DC source to the transistor. There is unbiased transistor also. What is that unbiased transistor? The transistor where no external DC source is applied itself is called as unbiased transistor. But unbiased transistor is not in use practically. So what is the need for this biasing? Is there any need for biasing? Yes, there are three different needs for biasing. So very first one is the Q point must stay in the active region. Q point must be in the active region after applying the input signal. What is this Q point? We are going to study in detail in the next topic. So the Q point should be in the active region when the input signal is applied. That is, it should not shift either towards the saturation region or towards the cutoff region. In the last section, I already told you that there are three different regions in a transistor characteristics, in the transistor output characteristics. What are those? Saturation region, cutoff region and the active region. So this Q point must always lie at the center of the active region when the input signal is applied. It should not shift either towards the saturation region or towards the cutoff region. The next point is stabilization of the transistor. Stabilization of the transistor for temperature variation. So what is this stabilization of the transistor? Whenever there is change in temperature, the transistor has to be stable. That is very important. Why the temperature is going to rise? Whenever the circuit is turned on for a long duration of time, obviously there will be the dissipation of heat from those particular devices. So as and when the temperature variations is occurring in the circuit, the transistor behavior or this transistor should not lose its stability. That is what is the meaning of this second point. And the last point is the operating point, that is the Q point should not shift. The Q point should not shift when a transistor is replaced with the new one of the same type. Suppose we are using the transistor in any of the circuit. Because of some reasons the transistor is being destroyed for some reasons, that can be either because of the temperature. In that case, we have to replace the transistor with a new one of the same type. As we replace the transistor, the Q point should not shift from its position. The Q point should not shift either towards the saturation region or towards the cutoff region. So these are the very three important points for the need for biasing. One is the Q point must be at the center of the active region when the input signal is applied, that is, it should not shift either towards the saturation region or towards the cutoff region. The second point is stabilization of the transistor for temperature variations. Whenever there is change in temperature or whenever there is variation in temperature, the transistor must not lose its stability. And the third point is the Q point should not shift when the transistor is replaced. When the transistor is replaced. So these are the three important points for the need for biasing. Now let us try to understand what is this Q point. Before that, we have to understand what is called as the DC load line. What is this DC load line? DC load line is nothing but a straight line drawn on the output characteristics of a transistor representing the output voltage VCE and the output current IC under no signal condition. So what is this? A straight line drawn on the output characteristics ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ output characteristics is nothing but a set of curves drawn for VCE on the x axis and IC on the y-axis. A set of curves, we are going to get a set of curves. This is the output characteristics. In the last session itself, I told you what is output characteristics. So, output characteristics will be like this. So, DC load line is nothing but a straight line drawn on the output characteristics representing output DC voltage VCE and output current IC under no signal condition. What is this under no signal condition? I need to apply DC source in order to turn on the transistor. I need to apply the DC source, that is external DC source anta helidre biasing. I need to bias the transistor, but whenever I am using this transistor as an amplifier, we have to give a separate input. Suppose this is, if this is considered as the input, what has to be amplified? Idanna nanu apply ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ before the application of this under no signal condition. So, before the application of this, we have to draw this DC load line. So, DC load line is nothing but a straight line drawn on the output characteristics representing VCE, that is collector to emitter voltage, and IC, that is the collector current. So, why is it important? This is very much important because in the output characteristics we are having 3 different regions, as I told you in the earlier session. So, this is a cutoff region, right? So, this region is nothing but a saturation region, and this region is called as a active region. While explaining the need for biasing, I told you I used the word what is called as Q point. So, in this straight line or in this DC load line, I have to select the point what is called as Q point. Whenever I want to use the transistor as a switch anta helidaga, Q point either I have to select here or towards here. ನಾನು ಆಫ್ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಥರ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ದಟ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಟು ದ ಕಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರೀಜನ್. ನಾನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ನ ಆನ್ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಥರ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಟು ದ ಸ್ಯಾಚುರೇಷನ್ ರೀಜನ್. ಬಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಎವರ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಅ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ನಾನು ಕ್ಯೂ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ನ ಈ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಡಿ ಸಿ ಲೋಡ್ ಲೈನ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಟು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯೂ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯೂಸೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡಿ ಸಿ ಲೋಡ್ ಲೈನ್? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಲೈನ್ drawn on the output characteristics of a transistor representing collector to emitter voltage and the collector current. Clear? Now let us try to understand how to find the end points of a DC load line. So, to find the end points of a DC load line, for this we need a circuit. Let us consider an NPN transistor. This is the base, emitter, and this is the collector terminal. We are going to use a resistor RB. Here again I will use a resistor RC, a voltage source which will be called as VBB, and again here we are going to use another voltage source. Let us call that as VCC. Now the voltage which is measured between the base to emitter will be named as VBE, and the voltage which is measured between the collector and the emitter terminal, that will be named as VCE, and the current which is flowing towards the base is called as IB, that is the base current, and the current which is flowing towards the collector terminal, that will be represented by IC, that is the collector current. So this is a NPN transistor. So this is the emitter base junction and this is the collector emitter junction. So what we have to do is we have to apply KVL for these two loops separately. Let us consider this part first. Applying KVL to this part, VBB is nothing but the voltage source what is present over here, and the voltage that is applied with the help of this VBB has to be distributed for this resistor along with the base to emitter junction. So VBB is nothing but the voltage drop across this resistor, that is RB, and the voltage drop across these two junctions. So the voltage drop across RB, let us write that as VRB plus VBE. But the voltage drop across the resistor RB is nothing but the current flowing through that resistor, that is IB, into that particular resistor RB plus VBE. So this is VBB. Hodalva? Let us write the manipulate this equation for IB. IB equals VBB minus VBE divided by RB. So this is the expression what we are going to get in order to find out the base current, that is IB. Let us write that here. IB equals VBB minus VBE divided by RB. Now let us try to apply the KVL for this particular loop. So this is the voltage source, that is VCC. That voltage applied with the help of this VCC has to be distributed with the RC and the collector to emitter junction. So VCC will be equal to the voltage drop across the resistor, let us write it as VRC, and the voltage drop across this junction, which is named as VCE. So VCC is equal to the voltage drop across this resistor is nothing but the current flowing through that resistor is IC into RC plus VCE. Clear? Now let us try to manipulate this equation. IC is equal to VCC minus VCE divided by RC. So this is the expression what we are going to get for IC. If you are going to concentrate at this particular equation, this equation can be written as IC equals minus 1 divided by RC of VCE plus VCC by RC. What I have done over here? I have separated these two terms. Minus VCE by RC na minus 1 by RC into VCE barkondidini plus VCC by RC. Why I have written like this? Because in the output characteristics curve, the x-axis will be representing VCE and the y-axis will be representing IC. So this expression is like mx plus c. mx plus c equation ತರ ಇದೆ, which is the equation for a straight line. This is the general equation for a straight line. So this is going to give us a straight line. What we are going to call it as a DC load line ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ DC load line definition itself is saying DC load line is nothing but a straight line which is drawn on the output characteristics curve representing VCE on the x-axis and IC on the y-axis. So if I am going to consider this particular expression, IC equals VCC minus VCE by RC. ಈ equation ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನನಗೆ ಈ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಲೈನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಲೈನ್, IC ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 0 ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ IC ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? 0 ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ನಾನು y ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೇನೆ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲೈನ್ VCE ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 0. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ IC ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ VCC ಮೈನಸ್ VCE ಬೈ RC ಏನು ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಇಫ್ VCE is equal to 0 ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ what I'll be left with IC equals VCC by RC ಅಂತ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಇಫ್ ICನೇ ನಾನು 0 ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ICಗೆ ನಾನು ಈ 0 ಅಂತ ಈಕ್ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ what I'll be left with 0 equals VCC minus VCE by RC and VCE will be equal to VCC. ಯಾಕೆ RC will be multiplied with 0, cross multiply ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇದು 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. I'll be left with VCC minus VC equals 0. So VCE equals VCC ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So I'm going to get 2 points where IC value will be equal to VCC by RC and VCE value will be equal to VCC. By joining these 2 points, I am going to get a DC load line which is drawn across the output characteristics curve. Like this, we are going to find the 2 end points of a DC load line. This is one point and this is another point, where VCE value will be equal to VCC and IC value will be equal to VCC divided by RC. I hope you are clear with this. Next, we'll move on to problem of this particular type. This is the problem what we have to solve. The question is, find the end points of the load line for the circuit given. So here the circuit is already given. This is an NPN transistor. I'll be having 2 voltage sources. One is VBB, the other one is VCC. VBB value is 4 volts, VCC value is 12 volts. The input resistance RB value is 10 kilo ohm, RC value is 2 kilo ohms. So in the previous part what I explained just now, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕಡೆಗೂನು KVL ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಈ ಕಡೆಗೂನು KVL ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. But the applying KVL for this part is not that much important. We have to just concentrate on this part. Output side ಗೆ ನಾವು concentrate ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ KVL apply ಮಾಡಿ. Let us try to find the end points of a load line. So applying KVL for this particular loop, apply KVL. So VCC is equal to the voltage drop across RC plus the voltage drop across these 2 terminals. What we are going to call it as VCE. VCE. So VCC value is equal to 12 volts. It's already given over there. So 12 is equal to the resistance 2 into 10 to the power of 3 into the current flowing through that resistor, that is IC. The current flowing through that resistor is IC plus VCE. Clear? Now we have to substitute IC value is equal to 0 in the above expression. IC value 0 ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ we will be left with VCE is 12 volts. VCE 12 volts. For the same expression, if I am going to substitute VCE value as 0, then ಇದು part 0 ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, IC equals 12 divided by 2 into 10 to the power of 3. 12 divided by 2 into 10 to the power of 3. 2 ones are 2 6 are, so 6 into 10 to the power of 3 is in the denominator. When it goes to the numerator, 10 to the power of minus 3, and the unit for this IC ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, IC is nothing but the collected current. So current, the unit is ampere. So IC value is equal to 6 milliamps. So voltage value is 12 volts. IC value is, the current value is 6 milliamps. So let us try to draw the end points, DC load line. This is VCE and this is IC. So VCE will be in the region, cutoff region. IC will be in the region what is called as the saturation region. So this VCE can be called as VCE cutoff point, which is nothing but VCE itself, and this 12 volts ಏನಿದು 12 volts value is VCC itself. ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? And this IC will be lying in the saturation region, so that can be named as IC saturation, that is equal to 6 milliamps. So here I am going to get a point 6 milliamps and here I am going to get a point 12 volts. So when I am going to join these 2 lines, I am going to get a DC load line, that is a straight line drawn on the output characteristics representing VCE and IC. So this is all I want to find the end points of a DC load line. Hello everyone, welcome back to the part 2 of this session. As I have told you, in every session we'll be seeing one new electronic component. Since we are dealing with transistor biasing chapter, let me introduce you to one basic component, that is transistor, in this session. So there are different types of transistor available in different shape, size as it is already seen in the picture. Out of these three, today I'll be dealing with two transistors. The first one is called as SL100 transistor, which will be of this type. Here, this transistor will be having three terminals, as we already know, that is emitter, base and a collector. It will be having a cap like structure. At one corner there will be a notch like structure. Notch anta heladre one extra metal piece coming out of that cap. ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಆ ನಾಚ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ಸ್ನ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, one of the terminal which is very close to that notch will be called as the emitter, next one will be called as the base and the last will be called as a collector. That is, we have to go in the anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction ಇಂದ ಹೋಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, the terminal which is very close to the notch will be called as the emitter, the next terminal in the anti-clockwise direction gives us the base and the last gives us the collector terminal. So the next type of transistor, what is called as the BC547. ಈ BC547 ನಲ್ಲಿ on one side we'll be having a flat like structure, on the other side we'll be having a bulged like structure. So ಈ transistor ನಲ್ಲಿ again we'll be having three terminals. One is the emitter, base and the collector. If I want to identify the terminals of this transistor, ಆ ಫ್ಲಾಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆಗೆ ತಿರುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ದ ರೈಟ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾರ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಎಮಿಟರ್, ಮಿಡಲಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಬೇಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟರ್. ರೈಟ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾರ್ನರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಮೂವ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ದ ಎಮಿಟರ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ದ ಬೇಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ದ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಬಟ್ ಆ ಫ್ಲಾಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಯು. Now let us see what's the difference between this SL100 and BC547. This SL100 is mostly used as a switch in common emitter configuration, while BC547, combining with other electronic components such as resistors, capacitors, can be used as the active component for switches and amplifiers. In SL100, 100 refers the gain of the transistor, while the maximum gain of BC547 is 800. SL100 have higher current rating than BC547. SL100 can be used to drive higher loads and relays. Used to drive anta heladre, this SL100 can be used to turn on higher loads and relays anta artha. This BC547 can be used to drive LEDs and buzzers. LED ಅಂದರೆ ಲೈಟ್ ಎಮಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಡಯೋಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಜರ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್ BC547 transistor. In SL100, S denotes it is a silicon transistor, N denotes high power, high frequency device. In BC547, B stands for silicon, C stands for low frequency, that is 100 megahertz. So ಈ ಥರ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ದ ಆಲ್ಫಾಬೆಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್. SL100 ಅಲ್ಲಿ S ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸಿಲಿಕಾನ್, ಅದೇ ಥರ AC107 ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, BC107 ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. AC107 ವೇರ್ A ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಜರ್ಮೇನಿಯಂ. BC107 ನಲ್ಲಿ again B stands for silicon. The alphabets present in the name of the transistor denotes which type of transistor it belongs to, or which type of semiconductor devices is used to construct transistor anta artha. With this, I'll be concluding the part 2 of this session. Thank you. So in this session, we learnt what is the need for biasing, along with that what is a DC load line, and how to draw a DC load line by finding the endpoints. I'll be ending this session at this point. In the next session, I'll be coming with the biasing types. That is a very, very important topic in this particular chapter. So in the third session, I'll be dealing with the voltage divider circuit. See you soon with the next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.